The house is haunted by the echo of your last goodbye. The house is haunted by the echo of your last goodbye. The house is haunted by memories that refuse to die. I can't get away from a vision that brings intimate glimpses of intimate things. A voice in my heart like a tart singer sings. I wonder who's kissing her now. The house is haunted by the echo of your favorite song. The place is cluttered up with roses that have lived too long, much too long. The ceiling is white, but the shadows are black. A ghost in my
I can't believe you're
heart,
40,
never come
Troy.
back.
I can't believe you're
The house
40.
is haunted by the echo of your last goodbye.
Oh, boy. Somebody's getting crowned tonight.
40 is the new 20. Duh.
Is it really? That makes me 25.
I was going to say, I'll have to ask the two older folks in here what it was like to be 40.
Who are you implying? It's very rude to call the guests over 40.
The house is haunted by the echo of your last goodbye. The house is haunted by the echo of your last goodbye. The house is haunted by memories that refuse to die. I can't get away from a vision that brings intimate glimpses of intimate things. A voice in my heart like a tart singer sings. I wonder who's kissing her now. The house is haunted by the echo of your favorite song. The place is cluttered up with roses that have lived too long, much too long.
Good evening and welcome to the Haunt Hour with your host Dan Doble, Susie Fleesick, and Troy Crivelone. Join us tonight as we talk about all things haunting and Halloween during the Haunt Hour.
Welcome, 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 everyone. Happy birthday. Wow. Welcome to another Haunt Hour. I'm one of your hosts, Dan. I'm here with the old man, Troy Crivelone, and somebody must be transitioning. Hello, Micah. How are you?
Yes, I'm transitioning.
Oh, yeah, Micah.
Sorry.
Yeah.
I can't do both, so
Can't do.
I got to take that off. All right, that was fun. I don't know what this is.
Welcome, everyone, to a fantastic Haunt Hour.
We
How
never
is
know
everybody
with
doing tonight?
Yeah, well, you know.
Did you get your walker there, old man?
Yeah. I borrowed it from Wilbur. Yeah.
Yeah, you don't even have to put a mask on anymore, hey?
I know, right? Now I can just walk around and be like, "Hi, I'm Wilbur," and they're like, "Yeah, I get it. Yeah, legit,
I get it.
legit."
It makes sense. Oh, it makes
Isn't
sense.
it funny how like as soon as you turn 40, everything goes? Like you're wearing your Depends, right?
Well, yeah, I mean, and I already
It's
have
like
my
overnight.
I put the Metamucil in my margarita.
Absolutely. That's the way to do
Oh,
Yeah.
that makes sense.
it for sure.
Two birds, one stone. I mean, kidney stones. I mean, obviously.
It should.
At least he
Two
didn't say
things
two
equal out,
girls,
right?
one cup.
Two you know what? I'm over 40 now. I don't have time for two girls.
You don't even know what that is.
No,
yes,
he probably
I do.
doesn't. That's
Yeah,
our
no, I do.
generation.
I do.
The realm.
I do. I was the
That and Tub Girl.
I was the key grip on Two Girls, One Cup.
I feel like we've had this conversation.
Oh my gosh.
You
I
can see
think
it on my
we did.
OnlyFans.
Oh my gosh.
Oh, you're on the over 40 OnlyFans.
And
now.
it's 40% off my OnlyFans today too. So just
Oh, that's
man.
fantastic. Make sure you guys check it out. Link in the description below.
Don't want to miss that.
Yeah.
And there they all go.
Probably my
forever.
favorite. I did want to show my favorite birthday greeting I got today. And it was from my friend Roland in Texas. You know.
It's your birthday today, Troy. It's your birthday today, Troy. Rock and roll and
Yeah.
That's incredible. Can I actually borrow that for my Troy's birthday?
Yeah. It's on YouTube. It's on YouTube. It has, it has 3 views because there's 3 Troys,
in the world.
Yep.
That's awesome.
But yeah,
haunt news. What do we got? We got anything exciting going on this past week? I mean, Susie missed out last week. I missed out the week before.
So I've got haunt news because
let's hear it.
Yeah, I got to meet Max and I got to tour Dent, and it's just amazing. And I can't seem to find the perfect words because it's just simply amazing. It was an incredible haunt. They were so friendly. They took us through, took their time. Like we were buying props from them. They didn't owe us anything. They did not owe us a tour. So I am so, that's my daughter carrying a body with Maximus.
Yep.
What a gentleman, huh?
Mm-hmm.
And so we did a day trip and we drove out there, and it was just incredible. It's a really we've been through Dent during a normal season in 2015. That was the year before we opened our haunt. So it was just so different coming in as an actual haunt owner and being able to tour Dent, and it's every bit as incredible as everybody says that it is. And the detail is amazing, and it's just so phenomenally done that I just strive to be like that.
For those that don't know what Dent is, it's Dent Schoolhouse in where is it? Oh, it's in Ohio, but where in Ohio?
Cincinnati, Ohio. Yes, it's like a 5-hour drive from us. It's funny though because back in the old days of Haunt World Forum, like pre-Facebook. I remember getting on and being like, hey, we bought a building. It was 2008. And everybody was on there. And I was like, it's an old school. And I'd really like to keep the theme an old school. I don't want to change the theme of it because, why ruin something that's perfect?
Yep.
And so many people were like, you got to do it like Dent. If you have an old school, you got to, model yourself after Dent. And I'm like, who the hell is Dent? What's Dent? Luckily, it was it's close enough that we could go. So we went for the weekend, took the kids, went through Dent. Something really embarrassing happened to me that I will share right now, which is I was taking photos inside.
Oh,
I'm that girl. Yes. Because in 2015, I didn't know that yes, there's a million signs. However, it does specifically say no flash photography. So I turned my flash off thinking I was going to be okay.
Didn't say regular photography, right?
And I made an actor break character, and I realize now how big that is. Didn't know that then. And but I snagged a couple shots in 2015, and I'm embarrassed to admit, and if Max is watching, I'm sorry.
It's all right. It's totally all
But
right.
yeah, it
Shannon Hops
happens.
does it.
It
So
happens. So that's what I did, and I'm ashamed. Ugh. And anyway, so being able to actually go in it and for real take pictures. I mean, I didn't, but I think I took a picture. They let our girls ring the bell. They still have the old school bell, and it's
Oh,
so cool.
that's super
Nice.
cool.
And so I took a picture of them like ringing the bell. And it's just great. Just they gave me a lot of ideas, not like yes for haunt, but not just for haunt. They gave me a lot of like ideas when it comes to like the costuming area and the way they have all the costumes are literally locked up, which is such a great idea. And I really need to do that. And you have to sign them in and sign them out and just that sort of thing, the way they run things. Because I asked every question I could possibly think of to ask. And they're building something new out back. They wouldn't tell us what it was, but they had these giant walls, and I don't know. I think a midway of some sort, but we were told that you can only get to it after you go through the haunt. So it's not like a midway for when you're waiting. It's for after you're through, and then you gain access to it. So it was very interesting. But Josh, one of the owners, was there, and he was amazing, and it was just incredible. And I'll never forget what I saw. I will never forget what I saw.
Yeah.
But I want my haunt to look like that. It was so nice.
Well, that's why it's so cool to go on, for the different conventions or something like you, where you've gone to a backstage tour, as a pro hunter or even somebody who's aspiring to be a pro hunter, to go through those areas. When I went through Dark Hour, he really emphasized, he's like, yeah, here's my haunt, but here's what I love. Here's my costume room, my mask room, my makeup room.
Yeah.
And like, look at how I did this and look at how I did this. And it's those things that make the house flow. If all those things are in disarray, nothing works out on the floor either, And so going on those tours, even if it's just backstage, some people are like, well, I want actors and stuff like that. We're haunters. Yeah, we like to see it in action too. But at the same time, I like to see the backstage stuff for the exact reasons, like you said, to be able to ask questions and just learn,
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, not even the tours. I mean, if you, as a haunter or a haunt owner, you can contact so many other owners and say, hey, we're in the area, mind if we stop by? And it's very rare that they say no.
Right. Everybody loves a talk shop. Yeah. I mean, I was in Utah over New Year's, and Spencer Tracy came to the haunt and showed me and Elizabeth around. And he was like, yes, let's do it. It was like, no question, So that's once again, one of the
proud mamas and proud papas like to show off their kids. So
well, yeah. That's right.
So it was amazing. Anyway.
Nice.
Anyway, how do you follow that up, Troy?
Yeah, I know. You're 40 or something.
I can do this.
Handstand?
Boom.
Oh, that's that thing that we were talking about last week that you didn't want me to talk about.
Yes, because now that I actually have it,
I was planting the seed, Troy. I was planting the seed for all those people that watched.
I saw that.
I was watching.
Yes. So
you were watching, but you weren't on the show.
I wasn't on the show, but I was watching.
Yeah, no, she was watching, but she couldn't take the time to click on a little link. And
that's right. You were in that other job that you.
Yeah. That I quit.
Filing nails.
That one.
But yes, we have finally done the pricing and everything's live for the Texas Terror Tours in October 7th and 8th in Dallas. You'll be able to see Dark Hour, Cutting Edge, J&F Haunted House, and Thrillvania Haunted House Park. All four of those are fantastic, top quality haunts out there. You get to see them for VIP, so you get to be first in line. Of course, on a bus and swag bags. We already have sponsors. We have Fright Props and Gore Galore and Still Be Studios and Haunt Shirts and Halloween Shirt Company. So we are well on the way to filling out those bags for everybody.
Was it the first year that I went, or was it the second year?
I think it was the first year you went.
I came out. Troy invited me out to Portland, and we went, and it was awesome. It was like no other, group of people that I've gone. I mean, I've done bus tours before. Like, hey, a bunch of people get together, we rent a bus, and we go. Like, I've done that before. This is more. It's on a way more professional level, and even if you've gone to it's way better than like going to convention ones where you're packed on a bus and they decide to go to one location and it's overbooked. Like, this is Troy Troy and his team put together the right amount of people in the right locations, and they make sure that everything is perfect. And I'm not trying to pitch this. I mean, it's a great time. It's a great time. We don't wait in line. You don't, nothing gets bogged down. You're not sitting there at, 2 a.m. going, why didn't we get to this haunted house when we were already paid for it? Like there's never any problems. At least the first year that I went. I'm sure it gets better every year.
Well, and that's why we used to do 3 haunts each night. And that was when we only had like 30 or 35 people on the tour. Then when we started selling out the bus and we got 50 some odd people on there, there's food and there's activities. There's no way we can do 3 anymore. So now we have to do 2 because of that problem. We don't want to rush people through, and we don't want to miss a haunt at the end or upset the haunt owners that, hey, we're pulling up at midnight. And a lot of these haunts have kids, working for them, and they can't, these parents are picking them up at 11 o'clock because they said they were done at 11, so we've learned, but we've also been on those other tours where we're like, well, we like this, we like this, we like this, and we're grabbing and we're learning, and we do a post survey at the end and ask people what they liked and what they didn't like, and mainly, me and Jim started this company to be able to go to haunted houses with our friends. Like that's the whole reason. We make enough money to pay for our hotel and our airfare if needed, and that's it. Like there's no profit involved in this at all. And we don't want to do it for that. That's not why we're doing it. And so it's
a reasonable price.
Yeah. The Texas one is a little higher than I wanted it to be, but once I found out what the haunts cost over there anyways,
it's like Chicago haunts.
What's the what is expensive to you guys?
Well, I know the future dark hour price because they've changed everything, and I can't really talk about that. But for Cutting Edge to do their full because they're one of the world's longest haunts, it's like $60 for their VIP, and if you want to do both haunts, because they own Thrillvania as well, they're about an hour apart, but you can buy combo tickets where you can go one night to Thrillvania, one night to Cutting Edge. It's well over $120 to do,
really,
with VIP, and they've got lines out the door.
I know Chicago area, like if you go to Hell's Gate, I know their VIP is close to $80.
Yeah,
and it's like 45 or 50 to go through.
Crazy,
right?
It's
right.
Ridiculous.
But now here,
and the lines are through the roof.
Yeah. Our VIPs out here, I don't think we have any VIP tickets out here in the Northwest that are over $40.
None here either. I agree.
Okay, so general admission to Hell's Gate is $35, $50 for VIP, and then they also have a $65 instant entry. So there's VIP and then there's VIP on the VIP, which when you get there, these lines are fucking ridiculously long.
Oh yeah.
And then they have this is what I love. This is why I love John LaFlamboy and Zombie Army. No, this is so fucking smart. So the prices just keep going up. They have $125 Hell Pass. That is where you know how, like when I used to do this, when I had a haunt, if I had my friends go through, I would tell everybody who it is, and then they would use their name and all that stuff. You can contact them ahead of time, tell them who's coming, and give them pertinent information, and they will search out that person while they're at the show and attack them.
Nice.
Yeah.
How do they know where they are, though?
We will mark. It says here, we will mark your friend or family member as our personal target for the entire tour. Whether it be a birthday, anniversary, or you just want to mess with a friend. We will learn a bit about the person, share the info with the house, and make the trip an extra challenging. It's a surprise and memory that we'll never forget. Entertainment. And so when we go down there, like when I go down there for Inside the Haunt Industry or Haunt Collective, and we do a review on the show, it's the same thing. You go to the thing, they tell you who it is, they say, hold on, we've got somebody will come get you. And then they have a character, like usually it's Mother that comes, for those of you that know Hell Gate. And she takes you down the tour and she follows with you, not like guided, but like she tracks you. And she also at the same point in time, which is so fucking smart, she'll take and stop the line. So she'll slow us down or speed us up. So we never, ever get bound up in a line, ever.
Right.
Wow. I've gone down there 3 times now. All 3 times I've known that they know that we're coming. Never been bound up. Now they let us go back through the last year, 2019, I think it was. They were closed in 2020. Yeah, 2019. They let us go back through a second time. We went back through a second time, not as a VIP. They just put us at the front of the line. Totally different experience. Totally different experience.
Wow.
Yep.
It's worth the $125 if you want to spend the money. And then
Right.
they have then they go out, it keeps going. $150 for an all access pass.
What?
Gets you a t-shirt and a photo with your favorite character. $170 is a friend pass, 4 VIP tickets, savings of $30. And then these are just group packaging.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
And then call for groups over 12. Yeah, no refunds.
Yeah, no refunds.
It's just ridiculous. And that's just the average, Yeah. And
That's
if
crazy.
you don't buy a VIP or an instant entry, you will sit there all night to go through this show.
Yep.
Like it's bonkers crazy busy.
Wow.
And that's why, and that was one of the reasons that we started doing this tour, is because we wanted to make it where you could join our tour, pay a little bit more because you're on the bus, but you're not paying as much as you would to go to the haunts, and you're going with your friends, but you never have to wait in line. Our bus pulls up right to the front. You get let off right there. We got a personal escort to where we need to go. You can buy merch, you can get food, all that kind of stuff, and then you're right into the haunt. So it's those type of experiences are what the haunts love to do too. They love to do that more than just the general mission line. Yeah, they love that, but it's like they get to really pay attention to those other people.
It's so much fun for everybody.
Yeah. So
for everybody. Speaking of so much fun,
we
have some guests. We have some guests. John and Lynn Hoke. I think I said their names right. You want to bring them in there, Troy?
We're gonna find out because they're gonna make fun of you.
It's Hope,
right?
It's Hope, but it's okay. Not the first time we heard that.
Right?
What a hope. See, I was only hoping.
How is it spelled? How is it spelled? How did you get hokey?
I don't know.
H-O-K-E.
It's like Coke.
I may have put several dashes and a lot of E's at the end of it.
You put 6 E's. You put 6 E's at the end of it.
Quick. What's their last name? How do you say their last name? Hokey. I'm like, all right. Well, that's pretty hokey.
Well, you guys made me say Ken's name last week, or 2 weeks ago.
Yeah, we did. We did.
That's fun.
I've known that guy forever, and I'm like,
good.
I just say Ken.
Well, welcome.
Thanks,
welcome guys to the show. I've been waiting. I think everybody's been waiting. That you guys did a, dare I call it a dark ride?
You do.
Is that,
you dare call it that?
Yeah. Dare call it that. It's awesome, and I couldn't stop watching the video. I think it was the viral video, at least within the haunt community. We're going around. I don't know. I don't think it was even completed. I think it was just when the
was it just the one me sitting on it?
Drinking.
Drinking
it.
Captain.
Yep.
Enjoying a nice afternoon.
Yeah,
that was the one. And Troy sent it to me, and I was like, Troy, we have to figure. He's like, I'm on it. I'm gonna figure out who it is. I'm on it. I'm on it. So
it was this one. And I told you guys, I was like, he put that right by his pool.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
And that was when it was on your phone. This was when it was on your phone, not on your clicker, right?
Oh, we did have the front on it right there.
Yeah, no, this was on this was on a clicker. So this is on the clicker. And I was starting the audio. So I got in trouble with the first one because I used Haunted Mansion audio. And I had to. And so what I was doing with my phone is I was playing the Haunted Mansion audio as we started. And this part coming up is where it says, I'll put the handrail down for you. That whole part of the verbiage right there where he talks about that. But I had to take all that out because I got blocked. So we had to redo it again with no audio.
Oh, yeah.
I think this is the one that's got no audio.
Serious about that.
Yeah, they are. They don't mess around.
Yeah, there's no audio on this one. Yeah.
Yeah. So this is me just not saying anything, I guess. Really.
Yeah, I'm not sure that's the one that was.
It's all about
the viral. You didn't have it.
It's one of those is the one that went viral, and we didn't even expect that to happen. I mean, I was doing this because
everybody kept telling us to do TikTok. I'm like,
yeah. So that's the story. So Lynn, I found out I was out in the garage working on styrofoam walls or something, and Lynn had told me she posted on TikTok, and I'm like, all right.
Because I posted that on a Facebook Haunted Mansion group. I'm like, hey guys, my husband, this crazy guy, look what he built.
Yeah, and
you got to do it on TikTok.
The next thing we knew, it blew up. So it's kind of was starting the whole thing. But I was just doing it like every year. We do a haunt every year, and this one just happened to be a ride, which kind of progressed anyway. From what it was supposed to be in the beginning. But
so before we get into it, is this the first year you've done the ride?
The first year we did a ride. Yes, first year I did a ride. We've been doing. We started in 2010 doing just a garage haunt, basically what we were doing, and front yard garage. But this one was, started off being a roller coaster for our daughter, and then it turned into
he's just like, I'm gonna build it around. Like, okay.
Yeah, then it turned into a Halloween.
Here we are.
Then it turned into a Halloween.
See you later out of the garage.
Yeah. Right. So it went from that roller coaster for my daughter, and then a ride for Halloween, and then Haunted Mansion. Kind of a tribute deal. So that's how it ended up. Yeah. So that
was last year.
This was the year before.
Because it was like the whole COVID thing. He's like, I'm going to cover the house. I'm like, oh, again. I was like, okay. What else, John? Go ahead.
Well, so backing up a bit. So in 2014, 15, somewhere. Anyway, some neighbor got upset, called the, fire department. They come out and they basically shut us down. Right. They all of this garage haunt thing. And they're like, you got to have exit here, all these things that we couldn't do. So I was like, they can't stop me from covering the house. They can't stop us from, doing anything once in the front yard of the house. So we just kind of went from there and did the house.
So how many years were you a garage haunt before they shut you down?
Five, I think.
It was 5. Yeah. And it kept growing every year. And, they let us finish the year before they told us we couldn't open again. They didn't come in the beginning. I'm glad they didn't.
But then we did the local fairgrounds.
Yeah, then we did the fairgrounds 3 years ago.
19, I think.
Yeah,
it was pre-COVID, I think.
So, yeah, that was the very first one. So you're looking at like that's my rudimentary, with the covering of the scene setters and the things like that. That's the very first one we did.
Oh, I totally didn't know that was a scene setter until I saw the glow from the candle on the edge there. I thought those were real walls.
Yeah, that's the very first one we did. Very first one. That's where it all started.
And that's in the garage?
That's in the garage. Yeah.
Oh, now you can tell.
It's so funny. Yeah.
Now you can tell. That. It's all about lighting, right?
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. Yeah.
So where are you guys out of?
Granger, Indiana. So it's around the South Bend, Indiana area.
Okay.
Yeah.
And so how did you get into doing Halloween in the beginning? Like what was the spark?
What was your first addiction?
Troy, you kind of reminded me of the story you were telling me. It really all started with my son getting to the point where he's like, I don't feel like going trick or treating. I said, okay. So we put a scarecrow in front of the porch, and then we dressed him up as the same scarecrow, right? Nice. So there was these 2 scarecrows, and he was all stuffed with hay. Had hay coming out of him everywhere. They couldn't tell if he all looked weird, so you couldn't tell if he was an actual person or not. And he had so much fun just scaring people because everybody would come up to the door and they'd be like, I don't know if that's real. Maybe they're both fake. I don't know. And he would just scare people. Kids were dropping their candy on the porch and running off the porch. And ever since then, I would say that I had the bug. And then when me and Lynn started dating in 2010.
Yeah, we were just decorating.
2010, we were decorating the front yard. We were putting a graveyard out in the front.
Because I grew up doing the same thing. I watched my brother scare people. Yeah. So I was like, I want to be like my brother and scare and So we both have the same passion.
We have to, right?
Yeah,
for this to work out, we have to. But and so I just told her, I said, I've always wanted to do a haunted house in the garage or a garage haunt. She's like, you should do it. So that's the first one.
She wrote.
That's how it started. But also too remember trick or treating and going to these people's houses where these people would like laying in leaves and they jump out and scare me, or they had a little homemade coffin. They were so I remember that from my childhood.
My favorite,
too. And it was always so much fun. And the Haunted Mansion has been such a big inspiration for me over the years. It's just an amazing, dark ride. I mean, it's like, in my opinion, the best ever. Iconic. For its own reasons. You're not going to cry out of fear or anything, but it's just such an amazing, it's an amazing experience. So
I want to know more about your dark ride. So it's around the pool always? Like, is that where people get in it?
Yeah. So they got in. I don't know if you have what kind of footage you have, Troy, but
he'll find it. Don't worry.
Do you have the lobby? Do you have the loading area where
that video?
Yeah. So this one here.
That's our deck.
So this is our deck. Right.
So that little gap, there's a little gap to the left there. That's our back door. So we could barely fit through there.
Yeah. So they would come up. Now this wasn't finished. This isn't the finished version, right? So I had planned to do a facade on here, just like the entryway of the Haunted Mansion. And so the walls that you see in there are all hand carved. I tried to match the Haunted Mansion walls identically.
That is
so they would come
you
up
came
through
a
this
long
area.
way from scene setters. Holy shit!
Thank you.
Right,
Thank you. Thank you. So this room, I wanted to look exactly like the Haunted Mansion. So all of these are all hand carved out of foam.
Oh my god!
So at night,
are they modular wall panels?
What's that?
Are they modular?
No, they're 2-inch pink foam. I had to frame it out with 2x4s because it's out in the elements and the wind.
Right.
So I took 2-inch. I framed it out with 2x4s and I put 2-inch foam over that, and that's real wallpaper. And then I've got, I believe that's 1/2-inch foam. That's all these carvings are made out of, and I used adhesive to. So these are all 4x8 panels, is what they are.
Okay, yeah, that's what I meant.
And they would load. They would load right here to answer your question.
Holy
so there'd
crap.
be. And this isn't done. This isn't the finished version, by the
Right.
way. There was a lot of things that were added in here.
Holy shnikes.
And so the cart would come up there. But also these windows, these windows that we passed, lightning was coming through there. I had a Firefly lightning machine coming through. We had Haunted Mansion audio playing at certain segments of it where we'd hit buttons. And this is unfinished again. This isn't the finished version.
Yeah, because that was a whole.
That was a cemetery out there in the back.
Oh my god!
So how long does it take you to set up?
Lord.
Well, I started.
Obviously, I don't count the first year because there's a learning curve, obviously.
This was insane. Like I started in June trying to design, okay, how am I going to make the drive system? What am I going to make the tracks out of? How am I going to make the cart? How am I going to make it look like it? I mean, the drive system alone took me about a month of just different trial and error kind of engineering things to figure, okay, how am I going to get it to move? How am I going to get it to move? We had like 450 pounds on these carts sometimes. There was 2 grown adults, big adults in this thing. And it was trucking along, and it's not level, so some of it was uphill. I tried to make it level, but it wasn't that level, right? So it's kind of creaking and everything during the ride too. But it was super strong, and it took June. I started in June, and we were like every home hunter, we were down to the wire, right? Like making changes up to the very last. So that's the drive system that I came up with. It's a really high torque 12-volt motor that I just happened to find a skateboard wheel that fit inside there with the right bolt. And so if you guys can see, it kind of angles itself down. There's hinges on the front of that, and the gravity just pinching, the way it pinches down on that middle PVC pipe there, it has a ton of traction. If it goes in reverse, it doesn't have the same amount, but based on the way the wheel is turning with the hinge up in the front, and it's kind of sitting down on there, it's got a ton of traction. So, and the rest is all skateboard wheels and hardware, and yeah.
Wow.
God, that's amazing.
I have to ask, are you an engineer?
I was gonna say that was my question.
I'm not. I do. That's more. I do sales consulting actually.
It's literally mind blowing, you guys.
But I will say thank you guys. I will say that I was always getting in trouble as a kid, taking toasters apart, hair dryers. I was playing Legos, Tinker Toys, Erector set. I grew up on all that stuff. Everything. I've always been. I would say building is. Well, it's hard to say. It's not my first love. It's just like, it's definitely. I like the engineering piece of it where, okay, here's the problem. How do we develop a solution for whatever that is? And what kind of creative approach can we take to make that thing work? The thing that, especially when it's like something that I don't really like, if I don't know the answer to it right away, it's even better. If I have to really work through a kind of a system to figure out how can I get it to work, is the challenge, is the rewarding piece of it, I would say. So.
Well, this looks a lot like just like true home haunter fashion in that you're like, okay, I need to put this wheel this way and this wheel this way.
Yeah.
Okay, I need to find an L bracket and some bolts.
Yeah.
And you're just finding things to make that work.
That's how it went. That's how it went. Yeah. Yeah. That's how it went. And this is what's up? Just so many iterations of this to get to this point. You guys should have seen some of the beginning ones that I made. It's like the wheels didn't turn right on the first one, and it's like my original designs of some of these things were kind of hilarious. You guys probably wouldn't be asking me if I was an engineer if you saw some of my first ones that I made. but
it didn't turn. It
didn't turn. Yeah, it was so funny. So
did you phone a friend at any point, or is this all you?
It's all me.
Ever?
It's all me.
Wow, so impressive.
Yeah,
So
very.
Thank you, guys.
Granted, you go off trial error, but look at the final product. I mean,
right.
Yeah. No, I did find a guy. I'd like to give people credit when I can. I can't think of the name off the top, but I did find the bending PVC on YouTube. As far as pouring the hot sand in it. There's some guy that does backyard roller coasters. I can't think of his name. He used to work for NASA, but that's where I learned how to do the hot sand into the PVC.
I think I've seen that video.
PVC. Yeah.
That was another question I was going to ask you was how did you join the because PVC comes in 10-foot pieces, or 15 at the most. How did you join the all the track together?
So I took the same 1.5 inches, and I basically cut. So where's the camera? So
it's not going to show your hand because it's
I cut a
video.
Yeah. So I don't know if you can't see me, but so okay. So you take let's say it's 1.5 inches right here. Let's say this is all the way closed up, right? So you cut a notch out, right, and then you put it in the oven, you heat it, and then you put it in another piece. You squeeze it, you put it in a piece that you want it to fit, and then you let it dry, and then you have that connection between the two. It's kind of like then you screw it in. I don't know if that's a good explanation or not.
I get it.
But yeah, so you notch out the PVC. I had one laying around here somewhere. I don't anymore.
Does it then click? Is it smooth?
Just
no,
smooth,
it's smooth. It's smooth. You mean the cart or the connection?
Yeah, where the connections are.
Yeah, the connection's smooth because you basically mold the PVC to fit inside of the 1.5 inch PVC.
Oh, so it's like a coupler.
Yeah, that's what it is. Exactly. Yeah, it goes on the inside. You let it cool.
It goes on the inside, like you would join two pieces of PVC.
Cut a notch out. Exactly. Yeah, and then once it dries, it cools. It stays the same shape, and then you just you find something.
No, making
all right. Yeah.
I can't find it.
Yeah, but that's how it was joined.
Okay.
So now that you're up and running and you have people, I assume, going on this, what are your local regulations? Because we have somebody around us that literally got shut down, not real close to us. They got shut down because they were trying to do a dark ride in their garage.
Sure.
And they actually contacted my husband because they were like, I heard you were the guy that knew all the ins and outs. How does that work in your area? And have you been shut down again? I guess is what I'm asking.
We have not. So here's what happened. And I was telling Troy this before we started this podcast. But so I actually applied for a permit, which is what I tried to do this year. I was like, okay, I'm going to do it right this year. I'm going to apply for a permit and I'm going to try to do it the right way. Right. And so I get a call saying that the fire marshal is going to be out, and also that the elevator inspector is going to be out because they inspect amusement rides. Right. And this was considered a home haunt and an amusement ride. So 2 inspectors were coming out. Right. So I told Lynn, I was like, we're not going to open. This isn't going to happen. Yeah. There's no way an elevator inspector amusement ride is going to approve this as a ride. Yeah. I mean, it's perfectly safe, but you guys know how it is. It's like as haunters, we build everything super safe, but it they don't like them. They don't like the stuff anyway. Right. So what ended up happening is I get a random phone call from some guy. Can't think of his name, but he's the guy that's in charge of this in Indianapolis is where he's at. And he called me up and said, "Hey, we're having a meeting about your house today. Like your backyard, your house. We're having a meeting today." He goes, "Here's the thing. Myself and another guy, we're on your side. We think you should be able to do whatever you want at your house, whatever you should do in your backyard, you can do it. But there's other people in this meeting that think you should have a permit. You should do this." I said, "Okay." I said, "What do you think our chances are?" He's like, "I don't know, 50-50. I'm like, "Okay, no help, right?" So he says, "I'll call you back." So I'm like, "Yeah, we're just going to be able to open this for the neighbors. We have to keep it hush hush. There's no way anybody's going to approve this or open it." So I get a call back in a couple hours, and he's like, "Hey, I got great news for you. We won. You could do whatever you want in your backyard." And you could probably hear me scream. The whole neighborhood could probably hear me screaming, right? So now from now on, and I've saved his email. I've got his cell phone number. Now here's the funny thing too: the fire marshal still showed up the day of the inspection. He was out in front of my house, and I was told that it was all canceled. So I called this guy up and I said, "Hey, the fire marshal's out." He goes, "He must not have got the memo." So I walked out there and he's I'm sure he's not watching. He's not a very nice guy. So he's all mad that he didn't. He goes, I said, "Hey, I got notified that it's off. We're good, right? And I gave him the guy's name. He goes, well, I got notified I'm supposed to be here. So it's just kind of this back and forth for a minute. He finally said, all right, fine. And he left. And so for us, it took that intervention from that guy to kind of open it up for us, because we were shut down for years. And now we do whatever we want, apparently. If we want to go into the pool and out of the pool, bring a fire,
Probably not.
Probably not. But so anyway, it ended up good for us. And so I think state by state, or maybe even county by county, I'm not sure how it all happens, but I have met some other people in the haunt community that have gone through the same thing, and it's not worked out so good for them.
This is a great video.
This is a good video here. So this kind of shows, hopefully that answered your question. I mean, as far as Indiana, this is our little trailer we put together.
So are you going to, now obviously they walk you back there, you wait in line. Are you going to go back to a garage hunt now that you have access to do so, or approval?
So so I always have more plans than I have time to get to.
Yeah,
right?
Every hunter does. Yeah.
Every hunter, right? So I'd like to start in the garage going forward, and that be a part of the haunt. I don't like this outdoor part that I had to put together here. I'd rather it be start in the garage, have a hallway right where the camera, right against, see that little cutout right there?
That comes
out. That comes out. I want to put a door there. That goes into the garage.
Yeah, you just want to cut a hole in our garage.
Yeah.
Everybody does that. It's fine.
And that way, this whole side could be enclosed. I could make a hallway all the way across the garage and then go into where.
I mean, this was not even supposed to be curtains. That's how down to the last minute we're like, let's get some blackout curtains. That's all we have.
Yeah.
Right.
Lynn, was that you in the video?
This is me. Yeah, I have the white contacts.
Yeah.
I love the lightning on the windows. That is so cool.
Yeah.
Thanks.
So, and also too, if you are haunted mansion goers, these lines through the windows are, if you look at any pictures in the loading area of the haunted mansion, John did this.
Disneyland.
The shadow goes onto the floor.
I tried to duplicate the exact shadow of the reference picture.
The lightning
that I got.
coming through.
So I put the slots in the window just to make the shadow on the floor, the reference picture.
That's awesome.
That I had, and that's an Atmos FX changing portrait with a projector on there. We got a frame from a estate sale.
Those are so fun. Yeah, we learned that fun this year.
And so this bust here, I also got this from an idea online. What's his name? God, I hate when I do this. Anyway, it's black light. So when the lightning goes off, there's a pin black light that flashes on this bust, which so normally there's nothing showing on her. And so in one of the posts, when the lightning cracks, it shines on her face too. So.
And so how long did it take you to put this together? Do you look at it as, do you like draw it out, figure it out, and then, or are you one of those guys that's like, okay, we're going to do this. Oh, I think we're going to do this now, and then we're going to do this, and then we're going to do this, and then hope it gets done?
I'm that guy. That guy. I'm not good at drawing things down.
Oh my gosh, I tagged you for somebody that had it all planned out.
What's that?
I had you pegged for somebody that like literally had just everything all like on the computer.
It's so weird. I have this vision in my head and then I just start, and it's like,
as fun as that is, that's probably the biggest fault he has, because people are like, let me help you build. And he's I can't.
Nobody can help me.
So I just hang out and I'm like, you can't write it out. So it's hard to have the extra hands we need.
It's also like, too, it's like a living, breathing build, right? It's like things change during the build, and maybe I see something that I didn't think of when I drew it. I can't hold myself to maybe. I have a pretty good, vivid idea of what I want it to look like, but it just kind of ends up being something that it ends up being, and I know you guys understand that. It's like,
this video, if you guys can ever listen to it, the screams,
the volume on. Like these are our neighbors down the street.
She's terrified. I don't even know how she got on it.
Yeah,
the screams are great in this video for anybody that watches.
Yeah, and you know what? Again, we did such a bad job of getting nighttime footage, and
it's hard. It's hard anyways.
It's hard because it never looks the way it looks to your eye, and it's like, and it's always an afterthought, and it's there's always something that's more important, and I try to. I try to provide as much good video as I can for people because I want people that can't actually show up to get some of the experience, right? Like,
right.
You know?
Yeah, I don't think until probably our 5th haunted house, we finally did a walkthrough. Because every year, when we're done, we're done. We're not like, hey, let's do a walkthrough. We're like, nope, we're done. Halloween's over. We're done.
Yeah.
And then it's like November 1st. You're
yeah,
like,
and then we get so mad at ourselves for that because we don't do that.
Yeah.
So how many people do you guys have go through? And how many days are you like open, and like how do you run it?
Well, we were delayed.
This year was the shortest we've ever been.
We had weather problems. I mean, it snowed yesterday here. I mean,
it snowed today here.
Yeah. I'm in Wisconsin. I totally feel your pain.
Oh, you guys get it then. All right. So the weather, it was the other. So I did have a problem that I didn't think about before, because the whole thing wasn't enclosed, which was my initial plan. I just didn't have time. The whole thing was going to be enclosed. And around 7 o'clock, which is when we opened, we had dew forming on the track, and the dew was causing me to lose some traction in some areas. So that caused some problems too. So a couple times through, I had to actually stand behind the cart and give it some nudges, which allowed me opportunity to scare people from behind the cart. So we turned we turned lemons into lemonade on that one. Right. But but to answer your question, we were open probably 6 total days, 6 days, and then we had, I'd say maybe 1,000 people.
I mean, Halloween night, the line was like 3 hours long.
Yeah,
people were leaving, but we also ended up keeping the ride longer than we said it was going to be because we were stopping it to scare people. So, and people didn't know, so they're like, "We're out." We're like, well, "How are we waiting 3 hours?" They didn't know what. Unfortunately,
and the original plan was to do 2 carts, and we only had 1, so that slowed it up. So
But in the past, easily 1,000. I mean, we had through our garage once 1,000.
Yeah.
I mean, the line would go down our street.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's awesome.
Been there, yeah.
This girl, this is our neighbor.
She's amazing.
So we do back bends and just crawl at people screaming.
When we were at the fairgrounds, we did the hunt for the fairgrounds. She was actually crawling at people, back bending, crawling at people
down a hallway.
Down the hallway. Yeah, she's so good.
Those are our dining room chairs, by the way. They still have webbing on them. I've learned that's part of our marriage now. He's like, "Where's that table?" I'm like, "You took it. The table is in storage with webbing on it, John."
I love it.
Oh yeah, I forgot. I didn't tell you about that? I'm sorry.
Well, like in the first years, the curtain was missing in our bedroom. I'm like, really?
That's awesome.
Well, it was a blackout curtain. I'm like, all right, well, whatever.
Yeah.
You're eating Easter dinner. You look down, there's blood on the table. You're like, oh, did we get all that off?
Yeah. So, I in my head too, the whole haunt was going to look like that first room. And again, I ran out of time. This year, we saved all the walls, we saved all the panels. We've got the drive system, we've got the track. I've got new ideas for this year that I've learned from.
How much of it is enclosed? I mean, you said you had weather. Is it like
basically
just
the
entrance? So just that entryway was the most enclosed. There was no roof. There was no roof on anything else, and that was part of the problem. And this year it's going to be completely enclosed, and the wall panels are going to look more like the lobby wall panels, where there's going to be more detail and things like that. So. Yeah, and I've got new ideas for the cart this year too that we can share at some point too. Because I sent you some pictures on that stuff
new
too.
Design.
Yeah.
So and you had the news come out a couple times and stuff too, right?
Yeah, we had the news. Actually, Good Morning America reached out to us because he had seen us on TikTok, and we never got together, and I regret it. Because I was like, when we and him started talking, because he said he saw it on his For You page or whatever.
Yeah,
what do you call it?
Blew up. Yeah,
page
For You. Good job. Yeah.
So, thanks. So he, the kids call it.
Kids call it these days.
Yeah. So he reached out, and we didn't end up connecting. He ended up saying they were going to, because I told him, I said, one of the things I'm concerned about is like, Disney suing me,
Yeah,
right?
copyright.
Like,
yeah.
He goes, well, we're owned by ABC, so I'll find out. It's okay. So we played some phone tag, and then it was hey, let me know about the inspection and how that goes, because there's no sense of you guys coming out if we're not actually open. And then it got to
you gave him a tired response.
I gave him a really tired response once, and I don't think maybe that was appreciated. I'm not sure, but if to do it all over again, I would have taken it probably more seriously.
Hopefully we can get him back out this year.
Yeah, so
I'll reach out. We still have his number.
We'll do what we can this year. But we had the news come out, and
we have a girl that's come out the last 2 years. So she actually called and reached out this year. She's like, "Hey, are you guys doing it again? We want to come back out."
Hey.
So
that
worked out too.
Yeah. I can't remember who it was right now, but I operate a haunted house map, like a home haunt map for the Northwest Haunters Association. And I have people who have really amazing, displays and walkthroughs and stuff. And I always say, do you want to be on the map? And they go, no. And then I also ask, I have a couple of news reporters who always ask me, where should we go this year? And so I end up going onto our association page, and I said, who wants to be on? And I'll also private message a few people who I'm like, I really want you to be on this. I know it would be good TV, and I know it would be good for you. And they go, we don't want to be on TV. We don't want that many people showing up, and we don't want to get the city or the county and things like that to where it would shut us down. But
I think that's probably the thing. The shutting it down is the biggest concern.
Yeah.
We
took the steps this year.
Yeah.
So that's why we're like, whatever, bring it.
Right.
And it can be unfortunate too, because this year, we had these lines, and then a kid runs across the street and ding dong ditches our neighbor, and she's got a sick kid, and I'm like, punks, like, we are in a neighborhood, but actually our neighborhood's our biggest fan base. We
got a great neighborhood. Actually,
they actually like people intentionally say that they walk and drive by our house to watch the progress. Like they're our number one fan. So we're very lucky to have such an awesome neighborhood.
For sure.
Are just waiting. Our neighbors just yesterday were like, "Hey, what's your husband doing?" I'm like, "Well, he's inside building a robot in our dining room. So happy Easter." We're looking for eggs. He's building a robot. It's fine.
So
you wonder
go ahead.
Like if Disney would and I know that they're hardcore about this kind of stuff, and I know that they don't like anybody doing their stuff, but something like this. It's not the Haunted Mansion, but it is. But it's your, they were the inspiration, and it's more of a, like an homage to it instead of a threat.
I think so.
Nobody's going to say, you know what, I'm not going to go to Disneyland. I'm going to go to there.
Right.
Yeah, exactly. If any, go ahead.
I was going to say, I think what would happen is they wouldn't let you use the soundtrack. And anything that says Haunted Mansion that is actually the logo or representation.
Like that
right there.
Or they at least wouldn't let you monetize the videos, which I mean, that's easy. Nobody cares about that.
Well, I can tell you right now that anytime Disney puts you put up anything YouTube on Disney, they will instantly bring it down.
Yep.
I know this is a super side note, but my sister-in-law makes little knit like stuffies. And she made a whole bunch of Star Wars characters and sold them on Etsy. And they came after her and said, no.
That is so crazy.
Gosh.
Like, and how they pick those
literally
people,
within like a
so
week.
much.
That's crazy.
But you can make shirts on Etsy. It's so crazy.
What's confusing is there are some videos out there that use the Haunted Mansion soundtrack, and I'm like, well, how do they get clearance on that deal? I mean, I don't know, but I mean.
You get too big, then too many eyeballs see it. You never know.
That's true.
Yep.
Yeah.
Hey guys.
Yeah.
Where's your pool?
It's behind that wall right there, to the left.
So
to the right.
It's all.
You're currently in the pergola right now.
Yeah. Okay, because I was thinking maybe you had one of those covers that you could like walk on, and
yes,
maybe
we do.
Actually built it on there. Okay.
We
didn't build across.
We have a safety.
It's on the other
cover.
side of that wall.
It's on the other side of the wall. Yeah, we have a safety cover just in case,
Yeah.
So it's on the left side right there on the other side of that wall.
And that's why you had to have such a long straightaway.
Yeah. And this room, I'm disappointed with the way, there's a lot of things like this hallway you're looking at right now was not my vision. This was let me whip this thing together. I got to get it done.
It's literally the week of Halloween.
Like I'm using, the old changing portraits from, 10 years ago. It's like,
oh yeah.
So I tried to do whatever I could just to get this thing done. And it's, got it done. But yeah, there's a lot of things that I wish I could have done. Again, that's what we all feel like, right? Every year we all feel the same way.
So how is, let's just go to the motor aspect of this.
Yeah.
How is it? Is it just an on-off motor, or do you have it? How is that put together? How did you come up with that?
Yes, I have it on a speed controller and an RF switch. Basically, is what I've got.
And that, is that controlled remotely, or is that controlled
remotely? Yeah.
Okay.
So it's just me. So I have the remote in my hand, and I start the ride when it's ready, and I stop it to scare people in certain areas. I'm walking around with the cart.
Got it.
Yeah, so that's the setup on that. Nothing complicated. Just a speed controller. It's got a voltage meter, which is on the back of the dune buggy right there. Yep. So I can see where the batteries are at, so people don't die in the middle of so the cart doesn't die in the middle of the ride. I can keep track of, okay, how are these batteries doing? Do I need to change them? Yeah, so that's.
So you're there. You're there. Somebody there is there, or you're there the whole aspect of the ride. So if there was a safety problem, or it comes off the track, or it dies, or it's not like they're stranded there.
Correct.
You're there to save the day.
Yeah.
Us characters were walking around all over there too, finding. I mean, we really didn't have any designated spots too, so that was kind of like we had somebody sitting there on the hay, so we could walk around and help or what find new scares. Just go.
Yeah, I had projection ideas for this side of the house. Couldn't get to it. I just all kinds of stuff that this year I should be able to.
So are you going to start in June again?
I've already started.
Well,
I've already started.
So our daughter's birthday is in July, and I'm like, you will not put walls up around our pool for July. Can we please have a pool party?
Wow.
I'm like, after July 19th. Yeah, there's a wire going into our bathroom.
There's our cable coming out of
That's our bathroom
window. We need a better Wi-Fi signal out here. I'm bringing the router outside. Yeah. So.
That's so awesome.
That is just
so awesome.
Mm-hmm. Thanks. How fast does it go? Like about 2?
It can go pretty fast. That was about. We ran it about 40%.
We put our daughter on it. She's like faster.
Yeah. But yeah, it could go. It could go pretty fast, which actually worked out good because I could, change the speed based on how busy we were. But also too, wanted to make sure everybody had a good experience.
Right.
Yeah.
Because everything's set up.
You had to change the batteries on
I'd
for one
say
night.
they lasted pretty long. I'd say maybe every couple hours. Every couple hours I had to change. I had to change them. It's a 12-volt system, but I was running 2 batteries to increase the length of that. So
yeah.
Did you think this was did you think this was going to work? Like when you started doing this, did you think, shit, I've got this? Or did you
No, I don't usually ever think that. Yeah, I don't usually ever think that. It's kind of like, all right, well, that part works. When I first had the wheels figured out and the turning on it, I was just pushing the track around the cart as hard as I could. I'll see if I could make it all the way around in one push before it had the motors on and everything. And I was like, all right, I feel good about that. It's actually rolling. There's not much resistance. Now I got to figure out how I'm going to drive this thing as far as the drive system. And yeah, I mean, I guess to answer your question, I always believe I think ultimately deep down, I believe I can do it. It's just how it's going to get done. I don't know.
How fast it's going to get done?
How fast it's going to get done.
And we talked about this, the kind of little offside. We talked about this before the show started. Right there on the other side of the fence.
See the extension cord laying on the ground.
Our neighbors had to give us electricity on Halloween night.
Yeah.
We were blowing fuses.
I had everything.
We've done that at our actual professional haunts. So
oh my Lord.
I've done it.
We were like, I had to walk in the line, like break hair. I'm like, I am so sorry. We blew a fuse, and then our neighbors like, here, and they're like throwing cords over the fence. Like,
I love it.
They were all standing there with their beers, watching us.
That was my fault. I plugged everything in. I plugged everything in. There were 2 plugs is all we were using. All this stuff together.
Fog machine.
Everything. So yeah.
Oh, that's funny.
Griswolds of Halloween for sure.
Yeah. Yeah, so this is a video I did on YouTube on the construction of the drive system and the wheel system and everything.
And he laid out all the washers and everything.
I know he's so organized. I can't handle it.
He's got to be an engineer.
Right?
You are now. You are now.
Yeah. I don't know what qualifies for somebody to call themselves one. I don't know.
But that's how most, like you said, you played with Tinker Toys and the Legos, things like that. Yeah. That's what my son wants to do. My son says he wants to be an engineer, and I'm like, keep playing with the Legos. Keep,
100%. Yeah.
Buy the Technics ones. Do things like this. Take things apart. So most engineers started with what you're doing, maybe a little younger, but Yeah.
Yeah, you're right. You're right.
But he getting like toasters. Like his dad still talks about to this day. Like
I got so much trouble
ripping toasters apart.
Yeah.
By the way, I also want to come hang out with you in your basement there.
Depends what college team you cheer for, though. If I'll allow you in.
That college team.
Good answer.
Come on down.
Go sports team. Yeah.
It's not even about that, right?
Yep. No, that it's just so cool. But yeah, you said let's get to your because you showed me.
Yeah.
Get to my messages.
It's actually right behind us over here. That's the animatronics. So I dove into the world of animatronics this year.
There's a surprise.
So, but this is what you want for your cart next year.
This is the back of it. This is in Photoshop. I don't have the whole thing done. So if you guys imagine in the front here, and Troy, if you could pull up the animatronic and just kind of maybe flip, you could. So there's the animatronic. So he's gonna have. He's work in progress. I got all the servos. He works. I'm working on programming him with the director composer through or just director through Fried Ideas. I've got a servo DMX. I've got a Flex running him. He's got 14 servos. I'm working on programming him right now. But the idea is he's going to be sitting. Troy, if you can go back to the cart for a second. Do you have that really rudimentary drawing that I sent you? Scroll back the other way. I think I sent it in. Yep, right there. So this is why I don't draw things out. Right.
Oh,
so
that's pretty.
So he's going to be sitting there in front, and as the ride starts, he's going to turn back and face the people in the cart. He's going to talk to you and explain the ride.
Oh my God, that's awesome!
Yeah, so he's going to be talking to you and explaining the ride as you're going through the ride.
Oh my God,
this year is the plan. So I've got a good head start on the animatronics. I've never messed with them before. There's the power, just a voltage meter because I can't find a 7.4 volt adapter, so I had to get a 7. I had to adjust it to that point. And I've got a servo DMX, which I'm using 14 servos. I've got a Flex I'm using to control it all. And then I'm using the director software. So this is my first kind of dive into.
You went all in.
Right.
Right.
No, like one program, 3 wires, one PI.
Well, you should see. So the beginning of this, which is on my Instagram, was me building the whole thing out of wood, and you got servo blocks in here now, but 3 weeks ago, this whole thing was kind of made out of wood, and me just trying to get the physics of it down. How's this arm move? How many different areas of motion are there in an arm? Things like that. So I want him to look like really realistic because you go through like the Pirates of the Caribbean, and you're like, is that a real dude or is that? Yeah. Is that an animatronic? So if you let this play, maybe go to the next one, Troy, because the next one actually shows him move.
Him moving.
Yeah. Okay. So this one is him moving. It's not. I haven't worked. This is before. This is a previous setup to what I have now, so it's even better now.
He's moving.
His movement's better now, but this is the kind of like my first run on.
I just make foam tombstones, and this guy's over
here. He was literally doing something so simple the other day, like vacuum. I don't know. It was something so ridiculous. I'm like, just stick to robots. Like he just has one of those brains. I'm like, he couldn't even. It was something as simple as like making a sandwich. I'm like, just go back to your robots. Like his brain, I can't. It just blows my mind. I don't even know.
Yeah, I want this guy to look like, and the movements here are not as good as they're smoother now based on because I was using a Pico servo, I believe is what it's called from Fried Props or Fried Ideas, whatever.
Right.
And it's harder because it's got a wheel on it versus using the director software, which is way better as far as, and then the servo DMX allows you to control the speed and acceleration, which gives it more of that human kind of movement. So I'm trying to dial it in, and I want to get 2 of these done for 2 carts.
How many hours have you spent on just learning this and getting this guy up and running?
A lot. I don't even know. A lot, because
thousands.
A lot. No.
It's a nightly thing. He's a night owl.
Yeah. 100.
After we get our daughter,
100 probably, and just going on to Servo City and like, pan and tilt, that'll work.
Right.
Just finding that's basically it's basically what that is. It's like, pan and tilt kit would work for that movement right there. Order a pan and tilt kit. Yeah. So and then just figure out.
I get behind this versus pneumatic. Pneumatics scare me because of all the different parts you have to do just to make it go.
Yeah.
All the different, solenoids and air things and all that. This is like you plug it in, you attach it, you attach something else to it, and it does it.
So Troy, I was considering pneumatics, and then because you can control the acceleration and speed of pneumatics too, but I really once I realized that you could get servos and you could control the movement a little bit better, and I also felt like they were smaller, more compact, easier to engineer, and then the other thing too was they make such high torque servos. Okay, this is my original one, right? So this is the first design, and it's all kind of built out of wood, and I'm trying to figure out, okay, here's this movement, here's that movement, and there's my Pico DMX, but it's kind of all like just kind of figure out, okay, I need this movement and I need that movement, and that's how it that's kind of my first how it all started. And then I moved into servo blocks, higher torque servos, because then I realized when you put clothes on an arm, you need more torque, and when you put a prop in their hand, you need more torque. And so Servo City, insert plug. Servo City's got like super high torque. I got more higher torque servos in the shoulder, which they need to be, and this thing can lift all kinds of stuff now, and the movement's fluid, and so it's been trial and error like anything else, right?
Yeah. Well, like Hugh said, that's one of my issues with air props is that you hear the release, something's coming. You don't hear anything, and then all of a sudden he starts moving and talking to you. You're like, whoa!
Right.
That's the one. Like we only have like one big haunted house in our area, and it's so frustrating because it's all the air, and you it's coming. It's like, I'm like, okay, brace yourself. Yeah. It's so frustrating because
servos have a lot more stuff that could probably break, and a lot more, just one little, gram more of weight, and you're like, now throw it off, where the air prop has maybe a little less repair stuff if need be.
Sure.
But there's pluses and minuses to all that kind of stuff.
Yeah. For sure.
God, that is cool.
Thank you guys. Appreciate it.
So then your plan for this year is to add the new cart and enclose the whole ride.
Yeah, and we're gonna turn the scare factor up from 4 to 10. We're turning it up this year. I've got a
haunted mansion for adults.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, it's always been kid friendly, so we recognize when kids come through, we turn it down, right? We turn it down, but I've got this nun photo. This nun photo behind me, the picture. And if you guys remember The Conjuring, one of my favorite scenes in that movie is when you see her photo, and then all of a sudden the nun comes screaming out of the darkness of the corner with the same photo. So I'm going to have a setup where, spoiler, I'm gonna have a setup where they're going down a hallway where they see her picture with a spotlight on it. It's going to go out. I'm going to have a wall turn or whatever, and then there's either going to be a prop or there's going to be an air actuator or an actual actor come running at the cart out of the darkness with special lighting.
We've had an actor that she's done a phenomenal.
She's done a great job as the nun. Yeah.
We had people come to our ride. They're like, we heard some girls screaming. So I mean, she was echoed in our neighborhood. So she's always done a phenomenal job doing the nun. So
this year, the plan is to have it all enclosed, the entire thing. I had this grandiose plan of making the ballroom in the haunted mansion. I had a grandiose plan of making that on our pool, like at like a 20-foot scale where the cart would go up. And you'd get that where I'd have Pepper's Ghost below the cart, which would shine on the. I can't get to the pool. I'm not authorized to do so until
at least like July 20th.
So I don't know.
I enjoy summer.
I don't know if that's going to get done, but I was going to have 20 foot ceilings, like 20 by 18
Wow.
deep. And I was going to have the cart kind of go up 5 feet and have 5 feet underneath it to where I could have something to work as a Pepper's ghost.
Yep.
It's probably not gonna. But 1 year I do want to do that because that would just be
pretty epic.
Bananas. Yeah.
So, Ken wants to, obviously say great job. But he kind of touches on the haunt couple thing before we close this out and show all your socials and stuff. What was that conversation like the first time that either of you were like, so Halloween? How did that go?
I mean, in 2010, I was like, do it, build it, let's go.
Yeah.
And now I'm like, all right, I'll see you in November.
Yeah, I gotta tell you, haunt couple is a good way to put it. I mean, I couldn't do it without her. There's no if she didn't support me the way she does,
right?
There's no way. Like it'd just be whether I would be able to do anything or not. It's an enjoyable experience, and because I have the support,
right?
I do, and I probably could do better, but I do try to blend personal time in with Right. Sometimes I got the haunt blinders on, and
I hear you.
I gotta spend time with the family, and sometimes she's got to tell me that too.
Right.
Yeah, and I love it, But there's days that I'm like, I even said that to him 1 year. I'm like, he's like, can I do anything? And I'm like, bring November 1st, please.
Yeah, there's moments for sure.
Yeah, I was having I was like, I'm done.
Yeah,
I'm done.
Yeah,
I think everybody has those moments.
Yeah, but when you're hearing the screams and moments like this with people like you guys, it's 100% worth it.
The fairgrounds was the biggest taxing deal because I actually worked at the fairgrounds. Like I was like there every day when I wasn't actually working. I was there every day, so it was even harder. We got through it. I mean, still married.
Yeah, but you weren't just in the backyard.
Right.
Right.
When I can see him, it's different to where it's like, all right. Yeah.
Well, the addition.
I was coaching at the time too, though, high school soccer.
Right.
So it was like we literally were like,
you never saw each other. Yeah.
Never. Yeah.
Separate lives.
For sure.
Yeah.
The addition this year was I basically covered up any kind of light coming into our kitchen, and our bag, like our kitchen and our little eating area in our kitchen was all covered with that wall that was on our deck. So it was just dark in our house all day long.
Oh my God.
She actually bought a scene setter, a fall scene setter to put around the pink foam. So when she looked out the sliding glass door, she could at least see some fall trees.
People thought, they were like, I posted it. I was like, at least it's fall in our house. They're like, it's changed already? Like, no, it's a scene setter.
Oh my God.
Yeah. It was dark. It was dark in our kitchen. Yeah. I just made, it glass was half full at that point, I guess.
Yeah. That's right. Yeah. But I couldn't do it.
Me and my wife did that when we had because we have 2 kids and so we did the whole I was out in the yard and she was taking care of the kid when it was baby and stuff, and I'd be out there for 3-4 hours at night, and then I'd come in and I'd take over for the baby for a little bit. And, but I remember that there were plenty of conversations, and I think we had 3 years that we didn't do anything. I've been doing it since the year we got married. She's the one that told me to go down to the basement and make something. I should have gotten the hint at that point, but maybe we weren't cut out for each other. I don't know. But she's like, go down to the basement and make something. So I did, and so it's her fault. So I always tell her when she's doing stuff, I'm like, it's your fault.
You said it.
But there were a couple times where we had to move houses because we've only ever rented. And so we were forced to move. So we're like, okay, well, we're not doing one that year. And those were nicer years, minus the fact that we had to move, but there was a good break. And I've kind of, like if I hear people talking about, oh, we're having a rough time, or, I'm always stressed about the haunt, and I'm like, just for like 1 year, just take a break. And go see all the other haunts in your area. Go, do a yard display or something like that. Something that'll take you a weekend that you could do together. And then the rest of the month, you just go and you visit other places. You go travel somewhere, and you do just take a break from it to almost kind of reinvigorate yourself, but also remind your partner, hey, I'm here. That
right.
And that really helped us a lot.
It actually worked when our daughter was an infant. He had been out. He'll stay up till 4 a.m. He's such a I gotta go do lighting. It's dark out. We started to crib train her first. She was like 8 months, and he's like, "Well, I'm up." So he would take it just worked out that year. So it's like it was perfect for our marriage because he's like, "Well, I'll just stay up until 6 a.m."
I do anyway.
Yeah.
Right.
So that
That's awesome.
Yeah.
You are the envy of haunt couples, probably.
Oh,
well, thank you, guys.
On that note, I do wish we could talk. Honestly,
I know, right?
I really do. But this is an hour show. We're already over. So, Troy, bring us into the
Yep.
socials.
Yep. So you've got Chamber of Souls on YouTube.
Yep.
They've got a good amount of videos, not a ton.
Working on it.
That's our newest. Yeah, we're working on that.
Right. But as you can see, you've got some how-tos in there and stuff like that, and some walkthroughs and stuff. But their bread and butter is Instagram.
Yep.
So you've got all their, it's Chamber of Souls, all one word with the black logo there.
Yes,
and you can see they've got all kinds of videos, and if you're in the area, you can see when they're going to be open and stuff like that.
Yep.
So yeah, if anybody does go to their place, huh?
What's that?
Is it Chamber of Soul on TikTok?
Yep. It is.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, okay. I did not pull that up. So
we don't get on there. Yeah.
Yeah, we got to do a better job of that. I mean, my Instagram videos generally aren't TikTok-ish. You know,
he controls all the Instagram. I do the TikTok. So I'm like, hey, do you want me to throw a video on there?
You can push your TikToks to Instagram. You know that, right?
I was gonna say, isn't there a program that does both at the same time and pushes it to
TikTok?
both?
You can do it once you're done and it uploads.
Oh, okay. TikTok
right to Instagram.
Okay.
Thanks.
All right.
Yeah, we will do that.
Yeah, there you
and
go.
You can push it to Facebook too, if you wanted to.
Huh.
Facebook, we're garbage at.
We're because we just started feeling like more people were on Instagram, so we stopped. We have a Facebook, but we just feel like everybody's on Instagram.
We can make improvements for sure.
Well, Facebook, I've kind of found like for my tours, Facebook is where it's at because everybody's on there. They can take their time looking at it, and it's not just a picture. I can give them all the information and pictures, videos. Where what you're doing is, just like you caught our attention through Instagram. You're very visual.
Doing
have a lot of
from June until November, so makes sense.
Yeah. So Facebook is where you can like connect to people like us, but then Instagram and TikTok is where you're going to get your fans and your public, to come through and all that kind of stuff.
Good to know. Yeah, thank you
for sure. Yeah. Well, thank you very much.
Thank you, guys.
It's been a pleasure. Appreciate it.
It's been great.
Appreciate it. Appreciate you having us. It's nice meeting all you guys.
Yes.
Hopefully we can get together in the future.
Yes,
we get
we will definitely
progress.
be watching.
Yeah.
Usually
definitely.
we put down a few each year that we're like, we're having them back.
We do.
I keep a list.
Hopefully we made the list.
Yeah. Oh yes.
Oh yeah.
I feel like it's like, when you tell somebody a goal, you're more inclined to accomplish your goal. It's the more people I share with these crazy ideas, the more I have to.
I do the same thing. I do the same thing with my professional haunt. I'll be like, okay, I'm announcing this, and my husband's like, what? But we don't have. And I'm like, it's out there. We have to do it.
Yes.
I actually just did that last week. So yeah.
For what? Tell more people.
Yeah.
No, I announced Jelly Ball last week. So
that's right.
I said May. So we have to open in May.
It is.
Do it.
The way it is.
It is.
Got this.
Got it.
Not Micah.
Not Micah.
And next time we're on, we'll think of you guys can either give us a nickname or we'll throw something in there.
Well, now it's got to be Hoke with the E.
Hokey.
Yeah, that's what
Hokey. There you go.
Next week we have straight from New Orleans. We have David Gentry, and he has it's everybody's kind of seen it on Instagram and on Facebook and stuff. He has the big purple house and he's got talking skeletons and he's got a big stage show and everything. And it's the Halloween house in New Orleans. So
I think
he'll be on next week to talk to us all about that. So
awesome. Well, thanks again, guys, for coming on.
Thank you guys.
Appreciate it.
Super excited to see you.
You too. Nice to meet you.
All right.
Take care.
Thank you very much.
Good night, everybody. See you next Tuesday.